What is up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Friday.
Good morning, Nick. Happy Friday.
Friday. To you as well.
Good morning, Nick. It's Tara. Happy Friday.
Nice to see you.
Good morning, everyone.
How you doing, Tara? I see Mario, Christian, Hughes on the phone, RG. We got Linda. Nice to see you all today. Boy, let me tell you, we have got a lot to look at today. I'm excited. It's actually one of my favorite classes, value proposition, because this is all about recognizing who you are, what your worth is, whether you're experienced or not. You'll be able to realize that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I say this to agents all the time. You are the value. You and your culmination of your history, your past, your successes, your challenges, and everything in between, that all equates to, you. That has made you, right, over your whole life. And so it's a great course on like trying to kind of pull some of this stuff out. So we're going to jump right into this because we got a lot to get to. By the way, make sure you have your manuals handy, or at least something to write on or type on. You will be you're going to be very introspective today. You're going to do a lot of just taking notes, answering questions, and really diving into what makes you the value, right? So like I said, let us jump right into this. As usual, I've got a million windows open, so bear with me here. Yeah, let's go. So we know, our basics with Ignite. What successful agents do every day. I'll say it again. We grow the business, we run the business. And I'll remind you that you cannot run a business if you're not constantly growing your business. So what does that mean? Well, you got to lead gen. You got to go on appointments. You got to follow up on leads. And until you do that, or if you do that, or if you don't do that, then you'll have nothing to do. Right? There will be no business to run. Right? That wouldn't be good. So, just always keeping that in mind. So let's take a look at our overview today. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about defining your value. We're going to talk about the 3 aspects of service. We're going to talk about knowing and stating the value, how to deliver the value, and then we're going to recap it. Like I said, there is a lot. So this is our roadmap, and yeah, let's keep moving into this. So your value, okay? So this is the basis of value. We're going to describe the value. We're going to convey it. We're going to create a covenant around that. So a value proposition, it's a simple and precise description of the benefits a consumer will get from working with you. Okay. Simple, precise description of the benefits a customer will get from working with you. Should clearly convey all the things you do to earn the fee that you charge, right? You guys get hired and you charge a fee, a commission, right, to do the work that you are hired to do. And then your value proposition is a covenant between you and the customer, right? So simple, precise description clearly conveys and creates a covenant between you and the customer. So to get into value, the first thing we are going to talk about, one second actually. So Linda, I got you, hold on. I'm gonna drop the manual into the chat again, just in case y'all don't have it. Let's make sure you do. All right. Does everybody see that in the chat? Hope you're good. You got it? If not, it is on KW Connect. I'll show you how to get to that in a little bit as well. So let's talk about the 3 aspects of service, okay? The 3 aspects of service. And if you want to go ahead and take a look at your participant guide, I'm on page number 3. Page number 3 is what we're going to be looking at. sure no one's trying to get in the room. I think we're good. So the three aspects of service, again, page 3. So you guys can fill in the blanks in your notes on page 3. Number 1, purpose. Know the underlying purpose of the real estate profession. So the purpose, when it relates to value, is understanding the underlying purpose of the real estate profession. Number 2, value proposition. Have and communicate a clear sense of how you deliver that purpose. And number 3, fiduciary. Understanding who and what a fiduciary is. Exhibit a continual drive to put your client's needs above all else. So if you want to fill in your manual, like I said, so when Gary Keller was researching for The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right, our gold standard book and model on how to net $1 million a year in real estate, he noted that every top producing agent he spoke with had a deep and inherent sense of service. We are in the service industry. You cannot grow a real estate business if you don't prioritize your client's experience above all else. A stellar experience is how you earn your commission and get referrals. So we've identified these 3 aspects of the service. Like I said, the purpose, having and communicating a clear sense of delivering that purpose, and then a continual drive to put your client's needs above all else. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. What is the underlying purpose of real estate? What would you guys say to that? What is the underlying purpose of real estate? Who wants to chime in on that?
Helping somebody
with a client, and we got there and there was like a 45-minute wait. I was like, what? So we ended up.
Can't quite hear you. Say it again. Okay, who's next?
Busy.
We can barely hear you back there.
No, thank you very much.
Okay, all right, who's next? Somebody else.
I think it's just helping somebody find a house, helping people get a home, being of service to people, right?
Sure. Doesn't have to be, don't overthink it, right? It's pretty simple. Simple, right? So think about this, okay? For buyers, it's about finding them the right property, right? Find the property. Number 2, at the best price. 3, in the right time. And then 4, with the least amount of problems. So finding them the right home at the best price and the right time with the least amount of problems. And then for sellers, it's about netting them the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of problems, right? So what happens to the client's buying or selling experience if we don't understand that this is the basic underlying purpose, right? If we move away from that and we forget, how does that create service to the client? How do they see value, right? They won't see value. And you know what will happen? They're not going to want to pay you. They're not going to want to have you earn a commission. They won't think you did earn a commission, right? So we're always grounding in the basics, the underlying purpose. I'll reiterate, for buyers, finding the right home, best price, in the right time with the least amount of problems. And then on the seller side, netting them the most amount of money, shortest amount of time with the least amount of problems. And it's significant that one of these phrases stands out to you: with the least amount of problems, right? When you have a deal that goes super smooth, you almost, maybe you could even feel guilty for earning, the tens of thousands of dollars that you do. But, what the clients don't see behind the scenes is all the problems that could arise, that may or may not arise, that you have to account for. So, quick question again. As a realtor, what are some of the problems that you have to anticipate for your clients? What are some things that could come up?
The home doesn't
Flowing
need
through.
inspection.
Okay, so home inspection, right? There's challenges with inspections. Yep, you got it. What else?
Challenges with appraisal.
Appraisal, escrow, right? You guys know it's all the basic stuff, right? And again, when it all goes good, it's all good. But when it's not, it's not. Then you got some problems, right? So, really being ahead of these things and being thoughtful and knowing that knowing the process is important because it helps you navigate and anticipate what could arise, right? You know, I always look at deals, and people will come to me with challenges, and I'll look at things and I'll ask them, like, did you use the right form? Were you ahead of this? What happened? How did, you know, speaking about clients vacating, and this comes up all the time. Buyer wants to buy a house, seller lives in the house. They don't pre-address when everybody's going to move. And then 2 days before escrow, I get the call, hey, the seller's not moving, right? Well, did you do anything about that up front, right? Were you thoughtful about that? That's your job. That's your job, knowing that these problems could arise, right? So sometimes you got to get burned a little bit before you start to really grasp what all these issues can be, okay? So let's keep going. So knowing the underlying purpose of real estate, obviously very important. The second part of this is the value proposition, okay? So let's define value proposition. What is this? Your value proposition distills your service offerings into a succinct set of benefits for your client, okay? So it takes all the things that you do as a real estate agent, as a fiduciary, and it compresses them down into a very simple and concise, succinct set of benefits to the client, right? And it's to the client, right? It's always outward. It's always customer focused, right? It states what you do for the client to earn your commission. And I really want you guys to hear that part of it. It states what you do for the client to earn your commission. How are you going to get a 6% listing? Well, you better have some value, right? You better have a lot of things that you provide in terms of benefits to the client. And if you can clearly articulate this and then fulfill, your clients will happily pay, right? We always say that price is only an issue in the absence of value. In the absence of value. If there was no value, you won't pay, right? Look at you guys as agents with Keller Williams, right? You got to pay Keller Williams 25 grand for our cap, and you have a split, right? You're giving a piece of that to the company, and we better bring something back to you, because if we don't, you'll go to the place that charges zero. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. So as an agent, you're experiencing that. All of your consumers are going to be experiencing this as well. And since it states what you do for the client to earn your commission, it also helps to explain the complexity of what you do, and it helps hold you as the agent accountable to high standards, right? When you have a value proposition and you deliver it, well, now you put yourself on the line, and now you got to hold yourself accountable to those high standards. So I think we can definitely see the value of having a value proposition. And I think what tends to happen as agents, whether you're new or not, we usually have a loose understanding of how we provide our clients with value. We generally understand, yeah, I'm going to work hard for you. Okay, well, yeah, of course, everybody's going to do that, right? So we have this kind of general understanding of that. And it's easy to forget that they might understand very little of that value. The consumer doesn't quite understand. In fact, if we go back in time and look at how real estate agents are graded in other industries, we typically fall just below used car salesmen, right? That's like the perception of who we are, and are we worth it, right? And that's usually it's our fault as agents, because we're not delivering this value, right? So we tend to have a general understanding, but we can't deliver it, and the clients have no concept of what it is. And that's why this course is so important, today's class, because we need to get far more clear on what that means, and then how we can deliver it as well. Okay. So your value proposition is what you bring to the table. That's your experience. Like, what is the experience you create? Okay. It's a statement, and it's going to phrase your skills, your expertise, your insights that make them relevant to your clients. Okay. So here's an example, right? Maybe you're bilingual, right? Maybe you're fluent in English and Spanish. It might be easy to say, well, I'm bilingual. Okay, cool. That's great. How is that a value to a buyer or a seller, right? Just saying it doesn't mean anything. Framing it in a way that the customer can, take it in and see how it's a value to them is an art. So you might say something instead that says, like, I have access to a large pool of potential buyers for your home who are often overlooked by other agents, right? So that's how we take a skill you have and convert it into something that is a benefit to the consumer. Bilingual equals access to more people that many agents just don't have the ability to do, right? So phrasing can change your client's perspective. And we're going to help you guys figure out what all these skills and benefits each of you have, okay? So we'll get to that in a moment. Let's look at the third part of the value here, okay? The third part of this is functionary versus fiduciary. Again, this is incredibly important to understand. So the third and final aspect of service is fiduciary. So what is fiduciary and how is it different than what we call a functionary? So when we think about the word fiduciary, it's an adjective and it's a noun. So as an adjective, it refers to something dealing with trust, especially when we think of relationships. So a fiduciary equals trust in relationships. In fact, as an agent, you have a fiduciary duty to your clients to protect their best interests and what will likely be the largest and most frightening transaction in their life. The disclosure regarding agency relationships, the first form all your clients sign says that you have a fiduciary duty of the utmost care and honesty and integrity and loyalty in dealing with the buyer or the seller or both. Okay, so that's the adjective. That's a describing your relationship. As a noun, a fiduciary refers to the person who has the fiduciary obligation, which is you guys. It's all of you as real estate agents, okay? You are your client's fiduciary. Now, here's an important distinction to understand between functionary versus fiduciary. A functionary is one who completes tasks for the client, okay? So that's a task, fulfiller. Whereas a fiduciary completes tasks and goes beyond by placing their client's best interest ahead of all others, even your own. Okay, so if you think about functionary, that's a taskmaster. That's someone that's just going to check things off of a list, right? When someone calls you and says they want to buy a house and you say, well, what are you looking for? And they rattle off 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet in this neighborhood for this price. That's a functionary. That's you just checking things off a list. And you all know, we don't just go back in the stock room, right, and pull a house off the shelf and say, here it is. There you go. Go ahead and take that on and hope you enjoy it. Let me know how it turns out, right? That's what a functionary does. Order taker. The fiduciary is going beyond that and looking out for your client's best interests, right? And being a fiduciary, it's a big deal. It's an honor. It's something that you're granted, it's something that you're granted the right to have, okay? QSC, is there a checklist that's available for sellers and buyers? Yes, we're gonna have a contract to close checklists in future Ignite courses for sure. So this badge of honor, right? It's helping your clients understand that your fiduciary is a big part of your value proposition. Okay, so if we add that, understanding the purpose of real estate, we add that to the value proposition, we add that to what a fiduciary actually is, then we have, the essence of giving service. Okay, so let me ask you this: what are some ways that you guys serve as your client's fiduciary during a real estate transaction?
Keeping them informed of all the activities that you have coming in when you're the listing agent.
Okay, so then
and the buyer's agent also.
Right. So helping them be aware of what's going on in the market or something specific to their property.
Yep, that's a big drawback. That a lot of them will tell you that, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. I'm not kept informed. Blah blah blah. I'm not updated. It's a big problem.
Love it. High level of communication, right?
Yep.
Love it. What else? What are some other fiduciary roles you play or things that you do to show that you are a fiduciary to your clients? What do you guys think?
Private information kept. Private information.
Yep. So private information, basically making sure that we're not showing too much of our clients' hand in terms of negotiating, right? What else can you think of? Like, what else does a fiduciary do?
Well, if you're representing the seller, you don't want, you don't want to take the first buyer. You're going to tell the seller, let's hold off. You're not, even if the seller's in a rush to buy, we don't want to tell any of the buyers that.
Yep, absolutely right.
Or they're going through divorce. We don't want to tell the buyers that either, because that might work against them.
Yeah, I mean,
All that private information is important to withhold to other people.
being aware of the motivation and how that affects negotiating, right? Positive or negative, for sure. Think about this: pricing a home to sell, right? Giving advice on how to price, advising your clients on what to offer on a property. One, to make sure that it's in their best interest, and two, to make sure they get the house. Or how about navigating a repair request and helping them understand and advising that this repair request may be too much or too little, right? I think you can get more. Or maybe you're risking by asking for too much, and that could affect you getting this house, and helping them think about the bigger picture. Those are all ways that you step in and advise and say, hey, let's think about what you're really trying to accomplish. And it goes back to the question I always ask buyers: why do you want to own real estate? Let me understand that first. And then I can help you decide whether this house is going to be the right one for you, right? So Ever, you got it. Advise. Give an advice, right? They're asking for your help. So be willing to tell them, okay? Be willing to tell them. Cool, love it. Let's keep going. So know and state your value, the next part of this. So we're going to talk about your personal value propositions, and we're going to look at some data around what clients want and what they're asking for. And we're going to get a big picture look at your current market, like our market in general, and we'll discuss some ways that tech can boost the value proposition as well. So we are going to go into an activity, and there is a lot to this. So let's just go ahead and plug away. So get into your manuals now, and we're going to look at page number 4. And we've got a series of questions, and this series of questions is going to start helping to define what your value proposition is. Okay, so I'm going to give you like 2 to 3 minutes for each one of these. So let's just go down the list. Number one says, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe yourself? Just think about how you would describe who you are as a person, real estate related or not. Don't worry about it. Who are you? So go ahead and write some comments. Go ahead and write some notes. Think about your values, the benefits of who you are as a human, things that you represent, do, say. How would you describe you? Who are you? Again, not specific necessarily to real estate, right? Doesn't have to be specific to real estate. I think that's the power of this course, is that even if you've never sold a home, you can you can describe your value proposition, because it all stems from you. Okay. So when you're done with that, move to number 2. How would people describe you? Think about some of your closer relationships, best friends, family members, spouses, etc. How would they describe you? Shift your perspective and think about how somebody else might describe you. How would they talk about your values, what you represent, who you are as a person? How would they describe you in terms of your past work history, maybe former employers, people that you respect? How would they describe you? shift your perspective. Think about how others that you respect, right? Not the haters. We don't care how they're going to describe us. We want to know the people that you respect. It's a really powerful question because it removes yourself kind of from your head and it allows you to think about how other people perceive you, which you don't think about too much. After you jot a few of those notes down, okay, and if you need more time, take the time, right? Number 3 says, what skills do you have that make you great at real estate? And I want you to think about, if you've never sold a home, think about your past work experience, you know, your past employment. What did you do and how did that impact you? How did that affect you? Anyone want to guess what I did before real estate? Aside from being an international superstar DJ?
Skydiver?
I have skydived. I didn't go tandem either, man. I went all in. You know what I was? I was a smoothie technician at Jamba Juice. Okay, that's what I used to do before real estate. Okay, now here's something to think about. I want you to get the impact of this. I want you to understand the skill part of this, right? What skills do you have that make you great at real estate? You might be thinking, what could you possibly have learned making smoothies that could apply to real estate, right? Well, I'll tell you. I had to, number one, I had to have precision because I had to measure every little scoop out, right? I had to make sure there was just enough strawberries, just a certain amount of ounces of juice, right? So I had to have precision. Secondly, I had to have speed. I had to get it all done within like 180 seconds to deliver the product, right? And then I had to have care with the client because I'd have to interact while I'm pumping ingredients in with my head turned around, chatting them up, right? How's your day going, et cetera, right? So you would think that maybe making smoothies has no relevance in real estate, and yet I learned skills there that do directly apply now, right? Like I need to be precise. My files need to be, you know, perfect, on point, every I dotted and T crossed. Speed, right? I need to get back to my clients in a timely fashion, you know, understanding that time is of the essence. And then of course, great customer service, chatting people up, right? So I want you to recognize it doesn't matter if you've never sold a house in your life, you have skills from past work. What are they? And write those down. We just got a new blender. I might have to try whipping up a strawberry, what do they call it? I can't remember the names of those things anymore. Strawberry dream or something like that. So write those skills down. And then number 4 says, what experiences do you have that make you great at real estate? And with this, I would think about, you know, life experiences, travel, hobbies, your other personal interests, and how does that all relate? What are some of those experiences? Right? Are you an avid reader? Do you have specific, you know, interests that you're interested in that, you know, might make it a benefit or a part of your value proposition? And remember, guys, if you've never sold a home, it has nothing to do with real estate. It's just who you are. And if you have sold property, then you can draw on some of that as well. The last piece of this on the next page, number 5, and you can keep working through 1 through 4. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes. But on the next page, it says to consider the 3 aspects of service that we just covered, right? The purpose of real estate, your value proposition, and a fiduciary versus functionary. How are those aspects present in your relationship with your clients or potential clients? How are those present now? And how can you improve based on your understanding of those three concepts. Okay, remember the purpose of real estate, value proposition, and fiduciary versus functionary. How is it already incorporated in your world, and how can you improve on incorporating it now? Go ahead and write that down. For those of you that just joined us, we are on page 4 and 5 in the participant manual. You can already hear the question, where's the manual? I'm going to drop another link to it in the chat. So take some time, go back through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and just, finish kind of getting your thoughts out on paper. And then we'll start thinking about moving on. This is one of those exercises you can definitely kind of keep coming back to and refining. And in fact, a lot of people take Ignite one time and they think, I already took that class, I don't need to do it again. There's so much in here to unpack, and it means so much. It means so many different things at different stages of your career that you can, implement and apply. So I tell people, you should be taking Ignite probably once a year, at least, not twice a year, just like Bold. All right, folks. So we looked at, questions 1 through 5. How would you describe yourself? How would people who know you describe you, the people you respect? What are the skills you have, real estate related or otherwise? What are experiences that you have had in your life that make you, or could make you great at real estate, or make you great at real estate now? And then thinking about the aspects of service, the 3 aspects of service: purpose, value, and fiduciary. How are they present currently, and how can we improve on them? So I would like to ask for a couple of ahas. So go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know something that you just learned by doing this quick little exercise. As a reminder, I have all day. So I'm just going to sit here and wait till someone talks.
I'll say something. I realized, I always go back to that DISC assessment thing that we've talked about. And I think one thing that I've learned over the years is just kind of how to win people over eventually. The reading people, reacting to how they are, and just kind of just the reaction, just how you have to deal with that. I think that that's something I'm okay at. And my friends have told me that. So just the ability to win people over and just kind of go from there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's something that you know about yourself, and you once you recognize it, you realize you can use it to help people, right? Love that. Love that. Who else? Who got an aha from the exercise? I know you all got one, but what was it?
I think for me was the term fiduciary, how that it's a relational, and you're bringing value and you have this honor of advising people. Like that thought just blew my mind, thinking that, again, it just builds that self-confidence in me to like knowing that I'm offering these skill sets to a client who's entrusting us with their home, with their future property. So you're right. I like the word honor too.
Yep.
Describes that.
Love that. Yeah. It's a privilege, right? We get to do this. We don't have to do this. We have the opportunity to do this, and clients will hire you because of that. And you should be telling them exactly that. I have the honor to represent you as your fiduciary. Let me explain what that means. Okay. Like when you go to a listing presentation, I can guarantee you 99% of agents are not saying this stuff. They're not talking like this. And then they come back and say, I can only get a 4% commission, right? Well, it's because you didn't justify the value. Okay. One more aha. Who else got something for me?
Hi, Nick. It's Gloria.
Morning. Hi.
Hi. I think for me, while I've taken Ignite in the past, and I already, felt like I was very in tune with what my value proposition was, with these changing times, I started questioning that. and how do I like rework it? So this was a very good exercise because I'm just remembering, you know, that basically like even looking at life experiences, for instance, right? Like as a mom, just the fact that, you know, you always put others first and you always try to fulfill the needs of everyone around. I think that's like how I'm really trying to tie all of this together and just, you know, keeping in mind that like that during these times, like I'm not the only one that might be feeling this way, right? So even like somebody that's trying to sell their house, but they feel completely lost, that sort of thing. So just being in this realm right now within this class, it's just really helping me to like remember and just basically reassess my value proposition and tie it all together with everything with like my past work experience, life experiences, and then presently. So thank you.
Love that. That's a great aha. You know, I love that you're able to kind of helps reground yourself, right? It helps you kind of like reconfirm who you are as a person. I mean, we are getting bombarded with all kinds of external noise and life and impacts, right? And we tend to lose sight of like, who are we and what's important to me, right? So I love that. That's great. That's great. We certainly have plenty of distractions out there, and we can lose sight of that stuff. So real estate related and otherwise, obviously, right? So thank you for sharing that. That's great. That's great. Okay, let's keep going. So we're going to move on to what buyers want. So if you want to take a look at page number 11 in your manual, or I'm sorry, not page 11, the next page, I think it's 6 in your manual. Page 11 for me. So what do buyers want? So let's talk a little bit about this. So let me kind of set the framework here. So we just discovered who we are. We just took some time to have an exercise about who we are as people, real estate experience or not. Now let's think about what consumers are saying, okay? So on your page here, we have a list of what buyers want, and it's what they want from a realtor. And this graph covers the top 3 responses and categorizes everything else as other, okay? You can see the complete list in your manual, but on the slide here, right, this is what the top 3 things are. And keep in mind, these are the results from buyers being asked to state the one thing that is most important to them, okay? Now, of course, we know buyers need help with paperwork, learning about the neighborhoods, all that stuff, but when forced to give one answer, this is what they said. Number 1, help find the right home. Number 2, help buyer negotiate terms. And number 3, help with price negotiations. So this is what buyers want. And let me ask this question. Do you need to have sold 100 properties to be able to do that for buyers now? No. The answer is no, right? We know the answer is no. You all can do these things, okay? So it's important to understand, what are buyers looking for in an agent? What do they want? Because you can deliver it today, even if you've sold 0 homes, right? And again, the complete list is in your manual. And maybe if you go into your manual, you could maybe just put a little star next to the things for what buyers want that you either do currently or can do. Just put a little star, things that you're already doing or that you can do today. You know, one of them is help with paperwork. Maybe you don't know all the disclosures. Okay, cool. Those are called areas of opportunities. You're not expected to know everything right away. It's going to take some time. You got to learn all this stuff, of course. And then if we look at the next one, what do buyers value? What buyers value? When asked the most important factor in choosing a real estate agent, these are the top 5 answers from buyers. And again, the complete list is in the manual, so take a look at it. Reputation of an agent, honesty and trustworthiness, a friend or family member, and an agent's knowledge of the neighborhood. Those are the top 4 that are most important. And by the way, reputation doesn't have to mean their reputation in the real estate industry. It's your track record. It's your past and your history, right? So what does that reputation look like now? I would imagine for all of you, it's stellar, you know? So people are going to want to work with you. So if you look at all the things on the list, it doesn't say, I want to work with an agent that sold 100 houses. It says, I want somebody with a good reputation, honest and trustworthy, that I have a close relationship with and that knows the area I want to buy in, right? You all have that already, okay? So take a look, and again, just go through your manual and look there and see, is there anything that you can put a star next to that you are already doing or already represents who you are, right? Look in the manual there. Okay, so on page 7, I want you guys to basically work through the skills here that we have. So on page 7 on the buyer side, what skills do you have or services you offer that align with what buyers want? So you'll go back into the what buyers want, finding the right home to purchase, negotiating, terms and price, comps, paperwork, qualifying, right? What skills do you currently have that are in alignment with what buyers want? And it could be as simple as just writing down the things that you already do, or you could draw on your past work experiences and your life experiences that would equate to what buyers want. So just write a couple of those down. And maybe find the ones that you think you're the best at. The ones you're best at. So always looking out for that one thing that you're really, really good at, right? The second question on there is, what characteristics or habits do you have that align with the buyer's values? What do buyers value? Okay, so what are those, values or benefits or characteristics that you already possess? Remember, already possess, that would align with the value part of it, right? There's what buyers want, there's what buyers value. So the second part is the value part. So write that into your manual. And the third part of this is important to understand, okay? It says do it in a group. We're just going to do it as you guys on your own, okay? I want you to think about your skills, your services, your characteristics, your habits, your values, all the things that you've written down. And I want you to pick one or two, maybe the top one or two, and I want you to rewrite them in a client-centric way, meaning how does that benefit the buyer? Okay, so let's say, for instance, you picked, help find the right home to purchase. Okay, so we're going to help them find the right home to purchase. Well, how's that a benefit to the buyer? Well, it might sound like this. It might sound like, I study homes and prices every day. Therefore, I'm able to weed out the junk, weed out the overpriced, weed out the things that may not, benefit you or fulfill the needs you have in a home, right? So we rephrase it to where, here's what I do, here's how it benefits you. I'll help you find the right home, and that benefits you because I'm going to weed out the junk. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money, and it's going to create longer-term happiness and fulfillment. And remember, just pick one or two, guys. You don't have to do like every single thing you wrote down. But I do want you to understand the concept of that. it's one thing to write down like all the things that you have and are, and it's like, yeah, I can write down I'm trustworthy. I can write down I'm a hard worker. What does that mean for the consumer though? And what I'd like to hear is what did some of you write? Give me one of them that you wrote down for the buyer side. This is me sitting in silence until somebody speaks. Who's it going to be? Come on. Be bold.
I put that I help people find the right home to help them build generational wealth.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a value to a customer, generational wealth, right? I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. See, it's as simple as that, right? Just think about all the things that you do that you're good at. And then why is that good for the consumer, the public? And it goes back to kind of the beginning of the class where we all realize that we have kind of, some things that are value, but maybe we can't articulate it all the way, right? Like we know we're trustworthy. We know we work hard. We know that we study the market. We kind of have a general understanding of this, but if we can't articulate it to the client, if we can't deliver the value proposition, it's going to make it harder to justify earning the commission, the tens of thousands of dollars you get from selling a home, right? We have the opportunity to make a lot of money. The people that make a lot of money are very good at delivering their value. Think about all the big companies, right? Why does Amazon do so well? What's their value proposition? Anyone not shopped on Amazon before? I'll phrase it that way. Anyone not shopped on Amazon this week? Okay. So somebody tell me, why do we go there?
Reliability.
It's reliable, right? Rarely do the packages not show up. Sometimes maybe not on the same day, and then I complain about it, whatever, right? Why else?
Convenience.
Convenience.
It's easy. Convenience. A click of a button, I got stuff on my doorstep the next day.
They have everything from A to Z. Basically.
They have everything from A to Z. It's in the logo, right? Yeah, little smiley face with an arrow, A to Z. They got it all, right? So are those benefits to consumers? We are the consumer, right? That's why we keep coming back. And they can clearly demonstrate it through the delivering, the quality, the ads they run, right? How are you delivering your proposition to your clients, okay? So that's what that last part of the paragraph is. And we're going to do that again on the seller side. So let's move to the next page, page 8. This is what sellers want. These are the top things that sellers want. And it's the top 5. And you can see the list in your handout as you have it. And it says here, help a seller market a home to potential buyers, help price the home competitively, help sell the home within specific timeframes, help find the buyer, and help with negotiating. Okay. And again, I want to reiterate, none of this says that I want an agent that sold 100 houses, right? They want marketing, they want pricing, they want timeframes, they want buyers, and they want negotiating. Okay. So that's what sellers want. Here's what they value. These are the values. Reputation, again, honest and trustworthy. Agent is a friend or family member. And then finally, agent's experience. We finally get to that, right? After all the buyers' wants and values, all the sellers' wants, number 4 on the value list, we finally get to experience. And notice, it's number 4, right? It's not even number 1, 2, or 3. So if you can demonstrate the first 3, right, it probably is not, it's going to be a non-issue, right? People want to do business with the people they know, like, and trust. Okay. And it's almost the same thing as what buyers value, right? Not much different, really. Not much different, really. So let's go ahead and do the exercise again on page number 9 in the manual. And it's the same thing. So what skills do you have? And they may be very similar on the buyer side. What skills or services do you have or offer that align with what sellers want? The second one is what characteristics or habits align with what sellers value. And then pick one or two and rephrase it as a client-centric statement. Why or how does it benefit the consumer? Not just what you do, but why it's a benefit to the consumer. Let's take 3 or 4 minutes. Let's have you work through those questions. Remember, guys and gals, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, right? If you're trustworthy, then just write trustworthy. And then how is that a benefit to the consumer? It's because you can rely on me to be looking out for you as a fiduciary, right? Make it simple. Make it simple. The things that the sellers want and value are pretty simple. Reputation, honesty, relationship, right? Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Let's keep buzzing through this, guys and gals. You are doing great. You are taking a lot of notes. You're being very introspective. And if we kind of think about the framework here, we've talked about what service means. We've talked about the purpose of real estate. We've talked about the value proposition. We've talked about what a fiduciary versus a functionary is. We've talked about who you are, how you describe yourself, what your past experiences and skills bring to the table. We just now looked at what buyers and sellers want and value. And we also broke down what you already possess as a person that aligns with buyers and sellers' wants and values, right? And we've taken those skills and traits and benefits and values and turned those into statements on how they benefit the consumer, okay? So let's keep going. What's next? Who are the competitors? Who is the competition, right? Real estate has undergone significant changes just in the past few years and even in the past few months. Investors have come in with the intent to disrupt the industry, and they certainly have. iBuyers driving down commissions. Some companies are working to eliminate real estate agents altogether. So let's talk about that. Who are the competitors? Who are our competitors? Why don't you guys go ahead and tell me, who are your competitors in the industry right now?
Yourself should be your only competitor.
Okay, write it down. That's a good one. Yourself. Who else? Guys, you know the answer. Who are the competitors to us?
Redfin, buying online, for sale by owner.
Write it down. Redfin, definitely a competitor. Who else? Who's the big dog?
Zillow.
Zillow. Write it down. You know, Keller Williams shifted to a technology company for a reason. Because the tech companies are coming in and creating disruption. And, you know, it says here in my notes, and I want to reiterate, there is downward pressure on commissions, right? These people are trying to reduce your commissions. And Gary Keller took a stand, you know, on the Mega Camp stage and said, You know, I'm here to protect your commission by allowing you to deliver value at a high level in competition with these people. Okay, so here's the question. If Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, if these are our competition, what is their value proposition? What is their value proposition? Tell me, what do you think the value proposition is for those companies?
It's really based on price. But as you and I know, price really doesn't sell.
Doesn't have to be, right? If you're
Low
competing
fees.
with price, there's always somebody cheaper.
Yeah, low fees.
Say that again.
Low fees.
Low fees. You know, guys, write this down though. Write this. You need to understand this, right? Because it's the truth. Cheaper. Redfin. 1% back to the buyer. Flat fee listings. Zillow will buy your house directly. Don't have to pay an agent. Can you guys think of any other value propositions that these companies might have?
User friendly. They're do it yourself kind of thing.
User-friendly, tech-based. Absolutely. Think about this. How much information is, if you go to Zillow, how much information is there? There's so much information about market statistics and economic data, right? They have speed. They make things happen very, very quickly. I would call that a value proposition as well. What are you doing to counter those value propositions? That's the next question. How are we countering, right? The cost, the speed, the interface, the data. What do you guys have? I'll give you a one-word answer. I would say platform. Platform, right? We're doing the same thing. Command, big data, artificial intelligence, all the components of the command platform, right? So let's take a look at the next page. Your tech, right? So here's the great thing. We have tech. We're committed to adding more to your value proposition, whether you like it or not. We're going to give it to you. And that means investing in the tech that propels your business forward. You know, we've talked about Command and the consumer app, but think about that. You guys have agent websites that are designed to be specific to the consumer, right? Even the big boys, Zillow and Redfin and Trulia and Realtor.com, when you go to their site, it's the same stuff. When you send out your neighborhood alerts, your client's only seeing what they want to see. It's a one-to-one experience like Netflix, right? Same thing with the app, with custom searches, saved searches, your own custom guides for people. All that stuff exists already. Are you using it? Okay. I'm going to drop a link in the chat that I think you all need to check out. Let me grab it here. Boom. There we go. Tech-enabled agent. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see this. This is your KW Connect. Hey, Nicholas, that's me, right? How did I know it's me? Look at all the different things that you can immediately jump into, especially with technology that you guys may not be familiar with yet, right? So what do I do with Command? I need training on how to use technology. I need to set up my app. I don't know what I want, right? Can you recommend something to me? Future-proof your business, understanding with what all this stuff means, right? The tech-enabled agent site is designed to help educate you guys on what Command is, what the platform provides, what technology means in real estate, right? So you can jump into all this stuff, database, transactions, marketing, referrals, goals, tasks, etc. KW app. So this is a one-stop shop page, right? With training and how-to videos. on everything you could possibly imagine with command. Okay, so take that link and I want you guys to jump into that stuff today, right? Start today. You guys need to be really, plugging into and using the tools that are at your disposal, because this is a big part of your value proposition as well. All right. Okay, let's get back to our slides. All right, so let's keep going. The next part of this is to craft your value proposition. So if you will turn to page number 12. And here's where we're going to tie it all together. Okay, here's where we're going to tie all this together. So remember, your value proposition is a unique, memorable, persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. It says what you're doing to earn your commission, and it holds you accountable to high standards. So 3 parts: value of working with you, why you're worth the commission, and creates accountability for you and sets your standards. So we're going to go through pages 12 and 13 to create your value proposition. So on 12 here, we have kind of what we call a mind map. So I want you guys to take maybe 5-7 minutes to go back and look at all your notes on pages 4 and 5, 8, 10, 12, where you wrote down who you are, describe yourself, your skills, talked about what buyers want and value, talked about what sellers want and value, incorporating technology. And I want you to write a little brainstorm around the thoughts here. What are the services? What is your character? What are your skills? What is your knowledge? What else do you want to add? And start writing down one word or little mini statements that are you, all the culmination of the activities that we did today. Here's where we're going to write them out and put them on this mind map. So take, 3, 4, 5 minutes to start jotting those notes down and create that little map. This is what would be like the highlights. This is where we create everything that's going to be really concise and the biggest benefits of why people would work with you. This is the highlight reel. So go grab all those little pieces from the other parts of the exercises that you did on 4 and 5, 8, 10, 12. Once you have your mind map done, once you've created these little statements or words, on the next page, page 13, is your chance to create your value proposition statement. Okay, so once you've kind of visualized everything on the mind map, we see it all in one place, right? We grabbed all those little nuggets from the previous exercises. We're going to craft a value proposition statement. It's a statement that you can share with your clients, right? Selectively include in your marketing, build your business around it. You know, this statement might be the first thing that appears on your listing presentation, your buyer presentation, your website, right? So I want you to take all those little pieces, all those little nuggets, and add them together, right? So for me, let's just say, my expertise, skills, et cetera, are, integrity, honesty, speed, precision, education. Those are the things that, represent me. So it might sound like this, right? I educate people on building wealth in real estate with speed and precision and exercising a high level of honesty and integrity. So that's kind of how it might sound. You guys are all different. You all have your own experiences and skills. So now's your chance to pull all this together, relate it to real estate, make it unique, make it memorable, make it strong and powerful, make it persuasive, make sure it represents the true value of working with you. Why would I hire you? What are you doing to earn your commission? Why are we going to pay you? And how is it going to create accountability to hold you to a higher standard? Okay. So take a few minutes. And this is not something that's just going to kind of pop out in a second, so write a few iterations of it, keep honing it in. You jot some notes down and then start putting the little pieces together and then create that 1, maybe 2 sentence statement for you. Let's take like 2 or 3 more minutes and get ready to share. So I'm going to start calling out names. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'd like for a couple of you to do is, dígame, tell me, what did you write down for your value proposition? Okay, I don't care if it's not perfect or refined or it doesn't quite roll off the tongue exactly the way you want it. Just throw it out. Let's hear what you wrote. Is it going to be a volunteer? Go for it,
I'll
Brian.
give it a go.
Do it.
So my vision of real estate is a little atypical. I believe that everybody should invest in real estate. As somebody I consider myself a property file with over 10 years of experience. And I believe what it takes to get the deals done is integrity and honesty. And I know that I will earn your trust.
Drop the mic, ladies and gentlemen. Love it. Love it. That's
Needs
great.
polishing.
Yeah, I mean, you'll refine this. This is not like something that you just, plop out and it's done, right? You keep tweaking and refining, but you got your principles, right? And I love what you started off with. I believe everyone should invest in real estate. I mean, that's like the core right there. Everybody can get behind that, right? I love it. I love it. Good job. Who's next? I'm going to hear at least 3 of these, and I will give a chance for a volunteer.
I'll go next.
Or Mario.
My goal as a real estate agent is to educate, advise, and guide my clients through their transaction in a smooth and timely manner. I am honest and trustworthy. I partner with my clients to ensure they grow and generate wealth through real estate.
Love it. Partner, grow wealth. Love it, right? Hitting on those core values. Those are memorable. Those are the things that people are going to take away, right? And say, you know what? I want to work with that person. Who's next? Give me one more. Volunteer or victim? Nicole, what you got? Not there. Gloria, how about you?
I'll go, Nick. I'm okay with this.
Tara, do it. Make it happen.
Okay. My job as a realtor and for me to help my clients, to educate them, to get them the right fit for what they need. I'm helpful. I'm honest. Probably to my detriment, because if I see something that's not worth it, I'm definitely going to share. I have a lot of integrity. I'm hardworking. I'm extremely patient and understanding, and I'm considerate, and I'm a very good listener. So I'm not really pushy as a realtor, because I understand it's a big investment.
I love it. Absolutely. Right. Honest to a fault. Right. I mean, it's like, how can you even be, it's called radical honesty. I love it.
Yeah. Sadly, that's what my husband says. I don't know about this for you. I'm like, no, I'm going to try. I'm going to be good at it.
It's all, I love it. I love it. Very good. Okay. So we're going to get close to wrapping up here for the day, guys and gals. I will say this. I have a little concern. If you're not willing to unmute yourself and tell me your value proposition, are you comfortable telling your clients? You need to be ready to drop this stuff, okay? And the whole point of today's course is to show you that you are the value. All the things that you need, you already have. There isn't any additional, training that's going to push you over the edge to be like, oh, now I can get the business. You already have it. You have everything you need, your core values, your past experiences, your skills, etc. That's what it is. That's what creates your value proposition. So I really hope that you completed the exercises and got deep into like what you can give in terms of service. Because again, if you can't tell me, you're gonna have a hard time telling your clients, I promise. So you need to practice this over and over, okay? Let's go to the last page in your manual and we'll wrap up. Page 16 in your manual, we're just going to do our ahas for the day. At the top, number 1, how has your thinking changed? How has your thinking changed when you think about value proposition? Let's write a couple notes for that. What does that mean? How has your thinking changed? The second one, what do you feel differently about and what was meaningful? What stood out to you today? What was that one thing that like, oh, wow. Number 3, what are the actions? What are the actions? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Maybe the most important one here. What are you going to do going forward as it relates to value proposition in your business? And lastly, what tools, models, or systems are you going to implement? Are you going to use? What is that tool, model, or system that you need to add to your business? So let's go around real quick. Number 1, who's got something for me for how your thinking has changed? Quickly. You're muted, Pete.
You can't put value on your a price on your expertise.
Love that. Yep. It's hard to put a price on your expertise. I mean, you guys are worth all the millions you're going to make in this business. That is for sure. Love it. Thank you. What was meaningful for you today? Who's got something for that?
I do.
Go for it.
That you said we have everything we need. And so I went, oh my God, I've been waiting for that nugget to succeed, to go forward, to explode. And you're saying it's already there.
It's already there. That's fantastic, Jolie. Thank you for sharing that. That's really great. Yeah, it's be, do, have, not have, be, do, right? We don't need anything else to get started. We don't need anything else to be successful. You have it all now. Thank you. Number 3, actions. Someone give me an action. What is the next thing you're going to do with what we talked about today?
I'm going to fine tune this and then make sure that I put it into everything else, into like all of my my websites and listing presentations and everything else.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you for that. Right. Just get it dialed in and get it out. Get it out. This seems to be a social media post. There are so many social media posts I was thinking about through the course today, right? Fiduciary versus functionary, what I do for work, the purpose of real estate. I mean, those are all things you could just start bloop, 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 dripping out. I mean, that's awesome. So yeah, get it out, get it everywhere. And let me tell you all real quickly, done is better than perfect. Okay. You will never make this exactly the way you want it. Get it close and be done. Done is better than perfect. Okay. Don't get caught up in thinking about it. Just get it out. Okay. All right. Who's going to do the last one? Tool, model, or system we're going to use? Quickly, guys. Who's got the last one?
Or command.
Command. That works, right? I love it. Get into the app, get into your website, make sure the proposition's on there, learn the tech, learn how it's going to be competing with the eyeballs that Zillow's already acquiring, and how you are going to make sure that you have those eyeballs and you're delivering value at a higher level than they are on a localized level. Okay. So, all right, cool, guys. Good job. 11:22. We are going to wrap it up for the day. Well done. We'll reconvene on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Next week, we'll be about halfway through this thing. So we are going to keep plugging away. Appreciate you all. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. You know where to reach me. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
You're
Nick.
welcome. Thanks, everybody.